down on the mat. I was swapping playing around a bat with the camera this morning. So how are we doing? And let me know what you're up to today. Another week is starting. Mondays again. I really do love these weeks are going past so fast. Like it's gonna be summer before we know it. So today we're gonna be doing the shell lariat, and I'm gonna take you down and show you again. Gonna be very quick technique. I really do love it because I really love the feel of the beads, how they are doing, and what how they feel. So I'm gonna show them to you now. Put 4 colorways together, and they are a little bit sort of muted colors. So because if we're talking about like sort of bridal jewelry and jewelry what maybe the mother of the bride or anything else, anybody else, I guess if you have to dress up a little bit, you can wear. And I've been dying to do something like this for a long time. So let me turn you down and I'll show you these. I'll show you on the website as well. Simon has given us graciously another discount again. Bless him. He's really good. And just have a little play with it. You could do, like, you don't have to use it in the same way how I'm using it. You can put your own spin on it. But basically what I just put the materials together. But in two of with the sharp pearls, I added freshwater pearls, and the other 2 sharp pearls, I added gemstone beads. So it just looks really nice, and they go together perfectly. The colors are just really nice and muted. Right. So let's go and have a little play. Actually, let me show it to you quickly on the website, and then we're gonna go down to the mat. I hope everybody's okay. I can see it like Leanne, Betty, Amelia, Jan, Charlotte, Camille, and I'm just really quickly gonna shout out Gwen, Lucy, Helen, Bethany, Francis, Jackie, Pamela, Karen, Carol, Seema, Joe, Marine, Claire, and oh, there's so many of you lovelies are here. Alison. Right, okay, so let me quickly pop to the website and I show you. I just get rid of this window, making sure I'm showing you the right one. There we go. So, you know the drill. Categories. So fourth one from the top, video tutorials, you go in there, there is today's Lariat necklace, and we got 4 different colorways. So we got sharp pearl and gemstone, like I said, bundle dark olive, we got a khaki, we got a gray, and we got a light pink. They come up to different prices because obviously depending of what gemstone we use in there, it will give you like a different prices. So I'm just gonna pop into this light pink because I love this one. This one's got a little bit of this one is coming with freshwater pearls, and probably the lightest color, but it's got like a hint of bronze in it. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see the individual products at the bottom, what we have put with it. And I'm just gonna pop back and show you the other color, which they called dark olive, because this is one of my favorites. And I'm gonna say this wrong because I can never really pronounce this gemstone. This is so beautiful, this gemstone, and I can never really pronounce it right. So it's rhodochrosite. That's what with it. The other one's got labradorite with it. But let me come back to the screen. We're gonna go down to the table, and I'm gonna show you exactly what they look. So there we go, and then to the table. There we go. So I got the 4 colorways here. I have to say thank you for Brenda because she helped us to string them all up so we don't have to sit here and me looking at stringing up beads. And this is when you're adding beads together and when you're doing anything like that, sometimes this is the hardest part, is putting the beads together, what's gonna go. And when I was putting this together, first I added smaller crystals, and then I looked at it and it didn't really do much for it, so I went back and I chosen larger crystals to go with it. And it really stands out. We also got hematite beads in each one of those bundles, and I'll show you one over the bundles. I'll show you this one, how it comes. So you get the strand of the pearl, You get the strand of the crystal, you get the strand of the freshwater pearl, and the strand of the hematite. So when you put them together just like that, and when you're looking at, oh, are they going to go together? Are they not going to go together? You can equally, if you take one strand that and you put something else with it, it will come up completely different. But in this instance, like just putting that rainbow strand of hematite beads in there, it just gave that little bit of a pop of a color in that colorway. So you know, do have a look. Like even before you make it, just put it, or any colors you put together, just put it down on your mat and have a little play with it, how they would look together. Now I love these shell pearls. So shell pearls are underneath this coating, because all of the pearls are coated. Underneath this coating there are shells. It's shell beads made out of shell, and they are they I guess a little bit more heavier than glass beads, and are really a great. They feel more cooler to the touch. I just love them. We so underuse them. We should use them. You should use them much more. Oh, Angel is saying, not a sunny day here in North Scotland, where it's sort of sunny's in and out here where we are, and but the weather doesn't look good at the moment. Right, so do have a go at these. They comes in all sorts of different sizes, those shell pearls are. Right, okay, so there is the other 3 colors. I'm not going to take them out of the bags, but you get a lot in those bags to play with. Now, more importantly, what you do get in the bag is you get this 100% silk cord, and we have used this one before. Sarah used it. I think she was doing pearl knotting and was putting a knot in between every single pearls. Now, I'm not a great lover of when you knot add a knot in between beads, because I don't know, I just don't like the look. Sometimes I do, I guess, but most of the time I prefer it without the knots. But I'm still going to use this silk, because it gives, once made, it gives a really nice fluidity to your necklace. You need a little bit thicker than supple on thread, because you got, 1, it's going to be really long, and 2, you want it to be strong. And these silk bead cords are just beautiful. They comes in different thicknesses. Probably you could get away with a little bit thicker one as well. The one which I added into the kit is the 2, which is 0.45 millimeters, so it's half a mil, the thickness of the cord. But the great thing about it is that it comes with a little needle, sort of a makeshift wire needle on there on the card, and you don't need to thread it, you don't need to do anything with it. You are, once you open it, you are ready to go, and you're going to string your beads on that. You can do all sorts of different patterns with this, however you want to pick up. So you can add more or less hematite beads in it. You could really do what would you like? Which color is your favorite? Do let me know in the comments. I kind of sort of keep going between them. I do like this look, but don't really wear, or haven't really got enough beiges in my wardrobe. This one is called the light pink, but it's got like a more of a rose pink color. And then you have this one is called the gray, and it's got like is this the one? Yes, yeah, gray. They called it gray. So this one has got more like a purple hint to it. It's like a gray tone, but definitely with a purple hint to it. I just really do love it, because like this one will go with a lot of things. You can wear it with the grays, you can wear it with whites, you can wear it with all sorts of different things. Now this one is called khaki. It is grey as well, but this one has got like a green tint to it. Sorry, I didn't bring a coffee or a glass of water in, and I might have to run out and get one in a minute if I can just feel my throat is drying up a bit. So both of these are grey. This one having a more of a purple tint, and this one is having more of like a green tint, not tent. You know, not doing tents here, tints. And this one at the bottom, so this one is grey. This one is called grey, but it's got a purple tint. This one is called khaki, but it's got like a green tint with it, and it's with the gorgeous labradorite beads. And this one right at the bottom is called dark olive, because the pearl it's still grey, but has got like an olive tint to it. So they're just really gorgeous colors, and I love putting this this sort of olivey gray color with pinks, like rose pinks. So, and those beads are gorgeous as well. Right. Oh, interesting. You need your coffee, Kitty. We went to it. So I was gonna go and make. I came down and I was starting with set, and I was gonna go pop out and make coffee, but I got distracted by the beads. You know me, it doesn't take too long to distract me. Right. So what you can do with it, and how you can fix it into a necklace. Actually, if I'm not stringing them up, we're gonna be done very quick. It's gonna be a quick live. So there's a couple of things what you can do. So because you're making a really long necklace, I'm not going to be adding, you don't need a clasp either, because you can just quite simply knot the end and the beginning together. But I'm going to show you how to do like a little bit of a fringe as well, because sometimes it's nice to have something at the end just sort of dangling on its dangling on the string. So knotting it together, again, there's a couple of different things you can do. And let me just move this out of the way. So if you're going to knot together, let's knot together this grey one. No, the purple one. I don't know. There's so many of them. I don't know which one, which one to do what way. I just love them all. I just love the color as well. Actually, this one will go well with my top I'm wearing. So let's do the dark olive. So there's a couple of ways you can do knots, and I'm just gonna strung everything together. I'm gonna make sure like everything is nice and tight. I'm just gonna let them come down. I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and tight, and this is gonna be as easy just knotting it with a square knot. Now, of course, I could add a little hanger bead or something underneath it, or I could try to find one of the beads with larger holes and then pull the knot inside it. I think we will be good to pull the knot into that pearl. So I'm going to go ahead and just give a bit more to this side. So I'm going to actually got something to hold on to it. So I'm just going to knot it together, right over left, left over right, a normal knot. What we do, how we would do our elastic. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of nail varnish onto the cord itself. Now, you could, some people burn the ends of the cords off as well. I couldn't find any lighters in a whole house. I found matches, but you can't really burn it off with matches. You need lighters. So I couldn't find a lighter in the whole house. So I can't show you off that one. But if you do burn the ends off after you made your knot, just make sure that you don't burn the knot off. And you have to, like, if it catches on flame, you have to blow it out pretty much straight away. Otherwise, you're just going to carry on and blow and burn and burn and burn. Be careful if you do burn the ends off that you don't burn your fingers, because like I often, like how I would do it, I would light the end up, and it was sort of about here, maybe like a third of an inch or a quarter of an inch away. And then as I'm lighting this up, so I would light it up here, I put the lighter down and I lick my finger, and I know a lot of people don't like to do that, and then pretty much straight away, or you don't have to lick your finger, I suppose you can, and dip it into a glass of water. I would put my finger on the top of it and just roll it just like that. But it's very important, if you're going to do that, that you dip your finger into a glass of water or something to make it wet. So when you get contact with the flame there, it doesn't burn your fingers. And very quickly just sort of go over it like that, and then it will form the perfect seal on the end of it. So have a little experiment with that one. Right, for this I am going to just knot it left over right, right over left. I'm going to knot it quite tight because I don't want, I'm just going to make sure, let that go all the way down, make sure there is there's no gaps anywhere. And I'm going to come back, and so we're just knotting it the same way how we knot an elastic or any other material. I'm going to do another half a knot. I don't advise to do surgeon's knot here because you want really tight knots. So I did 3 half knots, and my knot, if I bring it up, I hope you can see it. There it's quite dark, but let me just pull that out. It's just sitting right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get my nail varnish out and just add a tiny bit. To the end, and then I'm going to trim this off, and I'm not going to wait until the nail varnish dry, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to, as I added the let's just do it. Let's just not talk, let's just do it because I want to show you other things as well. So I'm just going to add, I'm taking up as much as I can from that nail varnish. I'm going to try to sort of pull this away. With this one, it doesn't really matter if the nail varnish goes over the bottom of the knot or where does it go, because it can't, even if the nail varnish hardening, it can't make your knot, it can't make your thread brittle like it would do with the elastic. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm leaving probably about a tiny bit of a tail, but that's going to disappear just in a minute. And then I'm going to wiggle my beads and I'm going to pull that knot into that big bead. Maybe not. Just wiggle them around. If it doesn't go in, I'm not, and this is doesn't really want to go in, I don't want to pull it too hard. It doesn't want to go in this one. I should have made sure I had, let's just have a look. I'm just going to grab around those pliers here and just open up the end of that hole a little bit, just by sticking the pliers in there, the end of the round nose pliers, and just sort of wiggling it around in the hole. And now we should be good to pull it in. There we go. Oh. And then you're going to have a really nice and long necklace. Now, if you didn't want to have just a long necklace, but you want to do something like a little dangle a bit at the bottom, you could do that too as well. Not a problem. And I'll show you how to do that just now. Shall we do that with the grey? So I'm going to pop this right on the top, move these about, and get right on to the grey. I do have actually a few beads left over with this one, so you could use some of those as well. So when I'm making a little bit of a fringe at the bottom, I want to do, let me just bring up. Oh, Karen, thank you so much for the stars. I just bring up the messages from Lucy. So if you want to do something on the bottom and you want to have like a little dangle or something like that, just to sort of show off your beads or show off, or, you know, I quite like the fringy look most of the time. Now there's a couple of different things you could do. You could either add, you know, make your little fringes separately. I kind of like to have them all like sort of on the strand itself. Just going to put this on. So that one become, I'm just going to pop to the screen for you. That one has become, it's quite long. But because it's quite long, just going to come up, because it's quite long, you can double up around your neck if you wanted to, or you can also tie a knot in your strand if you do it really long, and then you get a bit of a sort of, it becomes a little bit shorter, and you get a feature on the front of your necklace as well. Right, going back to the table. And I'm going to undo this knot quickly so it hangs down, because otherwise it's gonna. So if you want to do a little bit of a fringe, we only really want for a fringe like that much of a beads. And a couple of ways to do that is, let me just take this end out. Oh, come on, why are you wrapped together? I love this little bead stoppers because once you string things on there, they can be really helpful to holding your beadwork on there. Unless if you get in a muddle, and then they're like, you need to. It's all twisted. Right, let's get a bit more off of the card. So we got more to sort. There we go. Untwist it. And then I'm going to take the end and they're going to let it go. Or is it on the other side? Monday mornings, eh? There's always something going on on Monday with me. Wasn't it last week? Was that on Monday when our elastic snapped? And maybe that was on Tuesday. I don't know. Well, I don't know what day it was. We might not be doing this color if this color doesn't want to be done. And there we go. There we go. Right, so if you want to make a little fringe, which is probably about, I would do that much would do. Of course, you need to do something at the bottom. You need to tie a larger knot at the bottom, and so that will hold your bead up. Coffee Kitty, definitely, I know. I haven't got anybody. Simon, nobody's here. Simon's mum and dad, I don't know, maybe they upstairs, but I haven't got anybody to make a coffee. Never mind. We will just troop through it. You will excuse me for not having any coffee. We will be all right. Right, I got a little bit left over here. There we go. So only really want to do that much of a fringe. So I would probably string the necklace up first and then leave and use the leftover cord at the end to do this. I am just going to grab, because I got some pearls and bits here, the hematite out of my bag because I need a few more of those. But it's saying, I like a ring, Kitti. Is there a tutorial for as well? Do you know it's coming up on Wednesday? We're going to be doing that on Wednesday, right? So if I want to make a little fringe, I sometimes make like double them up because it's just easier and quicker to make, I guess, two than making one. So I'm just going to grab some of the beads here. It doesn't really matter what sort of pattern you're going to be doing. And I have just put the end out of the way. I'm just trying to keep these strands straight so they don't knot up. So I have got this little bit of silk cord I got left from the other necklace. The necklace I just knotted off. So I'm gonna do it on that one to show it to you. So every time, like if you have got a little bit left over, and this is probably about maybe 2.5 feet, I would like coil it back onto the card because it will be good enough to do another project with it. Right, so I'm gonna start by picking up the pearl. Then I'm going to follow that pattern there. I'm going to pick up, and I'm going to pick up a crystal. Maybe I'm going to make it a little bit longer, actually. One of those, and I'm going to pick up one of the labradorites. Then I'm going to, I think I'm going to go ahead, because I want to make it a little longer. I'm going to pick up another hematite, another crystal, and another hematite. So this will be how long my little section is going to be, and then I'm going to repeat this again but in reverse order. So I'm going to start with the, and it will make sense just in a minute how we're going to do this. And one of those, I'm just going to quickly pick them up. Sometimes it's just easier. And the labradorite. And hematite and crystal. Another hematite. and my other shell pearl. That's it. So I'm going to take this down all the way to the end. I'm going to add a knot to the end of this. Now, the easiest way to add a larger knot or a wider knot, so we want to make sure the pearls are not going to come through. They have got probably about a millimeter hole or a couple of millimeters hole there. So you want to really make sure that your knot is bigger than that hole. So it's definitely, you're not going to lose it and they're not going to come through. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can knot it and knot it and knot it and knot it again. But like when you're taking your knots through, sometimes they don't go on the same place. And then what happens is just like you end up with knots all over the cord, but not where you want to be. So what I like to do is to take a couple of crochet hooks. Now this is the only 2 crochet hooks I could have found this morning. And I'm going to wrap sort of the, which it doesn't really matter what way is that. I'm going to wrap the ends on there. So I'm going to start on the right and I'm wrapping to the left. I'm going to wrap it around maybe 3-4 times. And I started on the right, I wrapped it towards the left, and then I'm going to cross it over and hook it into my hook just there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this hook. Usually I do this with the other hand. I'm going to pull this hook through all of the loops. I'm going to have to start again. I usually have it towards the other way. So, what's going on Monday? Monday morning, we need another day off. So I'm going to start on the left and wrap it to the right. That's where I went wrong, because that's the way how I do it, because my right is my dominant hand. So I wrapped it around about 4 times and just pull this back. Then I'm going to cross over. So my wrapping started on this side and proceeded to that way. And I'm going to cross the end over and I'm going to hook it in to the end of my hook and pull this through all of them, just like that. And then I take this off this crochet hook and I pull this up. All I've created really just a series of knots together. And then I'm going to pull that nice and tight. And I'm going to add another knot on the top of it, just to left over right, just to hold it. And there is no way my sharper can come through that at all. So then I would go ahead, I would add a little nail varnish or add a little something to the bottom or burn it off, and then just quite simply just cut it and trim it up. And now that end is going to be secure. Now I'm going to take the rest of it down. Now we need to create a loop in the middle because we want this to be hanging down on our necklace. So I'm just going to go ahead as close as I can, and I want to get as close as I can to the top of these beads. I'm just going to do an overhand knot. You can always start bigger, pull it around, and then pull your knot back in so it's smaller, or you can just pull this down and I'm going to pulling it this back. I like to do it with a crochet hook, it's easier. Just pull this up. Right, wrap it around and then I'm hooking the end in, pulling this through. This crochet hook doesn't want to play. Let's play with the other one. You can also, the other thing what you can do actually is probably that will be easier. You're just trying to make the loop. You can knot this around the crochet hook itself. So I'm going to pull, let's hand that, and I'm going to put the end through. And then I'm going to pull that knot right there, and I'm going to repeat this again. Come on. And I'm going to pull that nice and tight. Make sure it doesn't get hooked onto the bead. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead, let those beads go up. So I just created that little loop which we're going to add into the necklace itself. And I'm going to repeat adding. I'm going to cut this end off. And I'm going to repeat adding another little knot on this end as well. I'm just pulling the end through. Take this out, and as I'm sort of pulling the end, I'm just gonna, you can either pop a needle or something like this into it and just make sure those little knots are go and sit right at the end there. And that's it. We got a lovely little sort of charm. And then we can go ahead and add this to our main necklace. So what's on the other end? And go through that loop. And then I would not, I mean, you could add more than one of these on there. So you could make like 5, 10, 15 of these little bits, as many as you want. Like, you know, some of them you might just want to have a particular beads, or some of them might gonna be shorter, some of them might gonna be longer. And you're gonna add that onto your main necklace. This is probably gonna be a little bit too long, but never mind, we can wear it doubled up. I'm gonna pull this up all the way. And I'm going to go ahead and knot my end and beginning together. I don't know where is the conversation going on there. I just looked up and I see what Mina is saying. Right, I'm going to let these go down a bit more, so I can keep the end where oh, Charlotte, thank you so much for the stars. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to let it all go down. So I'm going to keep more of the cord at the end where I have my needle on, so I can use it furthermore. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knot this together the same way as we knotted the other one. That's 2 and that's 3. That's it. And then we would again add nail varnish to that knot, and let's take this off, and then our necklace is ready. And you could do all sorts of different things with it. So this one is quite long. I'm gonna have to come to the main camera to show you, but this one is quite long. But obviously the more fringes you would make, your necklace would be shorter because you're using the materials from it. So I would probably, if I made another 3 or 4, I would end up with this length, which is just the right length. But it looks, when you, in the summer, when you're wearing like little tank tops, I just like wearing long necklaces like this, when they dangle down sort of right past your bosoms, your breast, and I think they just look really good. And they're really simple. It's not about something like this. It's not about a technique. It's more about more about the beads themselves. So we got 4 different variations on the website. Sarah did do one on pearl knotting, so if you want to, you could go back and have a look at that one. I'm just going to take you back then and show you the colors again. And take you right down. And I'm gonna, can I zoom out a little bit more on this so you can see? Yeah, I can zoom out. There we go. So we got 4 different colorways. If you wanted to, and if you got clasp on, you can make them shorter. If you got toggle clasp or any sort of clasp, magnetic clasp, you could make it shorter and, you know, make it into, close it into a proper necklace. But it's just putting those lovely beads together, and look how sparkly they are. I just love it, and they feel so they feel so nice to sort of play with them. Yeah, that's the pink one. Camille's saying I love the pink one. So have a look, have a look at them if you fancy any of them. I love it, and I love longer necklaces, and I don't do enough of them. I always end up doing short ones, and then I don't really wear them. And necklaces like these is what are the ones I would wear, I guess, the most in the summer. Just sort of put it over your head, and then off you go. These would look nice as eyeglass chains. So they are quite, yeah, could do. Yeah, they're not too heavy. I personally probably wouldn't use it because these beads are like heavier than normal 12, 14 millimeter glass beads. But you could make it up because it would sit on your neck anyway. So yeah, as in, sorry, an easy, very easy one for you today. But they're very really nice. I think it's just like different styles. Sometimes go for different tops and different things in your wardrobe. Or cry for different styles of necklaces. So it's just one of them, like what you could do with it. Right, I really need to go and get a coffee. Long necklaces are very flattering, and he's saying yes, absolutely. Sheila, I like them all. Oh, Lucy's saying they are very pretty. I love them. Can we see along the pink one? Beautiful. Yeah, so they check them out. They look really great. I really need to go and get a coffee, because if I'm not gonna go and get a drink, I'm gonna get into a coughing fit any minute now. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you. Sorry, it's a bit of a short one today. Matching your earrings. Oh yes, they do actually. Those rosy pink ones in there. I'm gonna get into a coughing fit if I don't go and get a coffee or some sort of drink in a minute, and you don't want that. So sorry, it's a bit of a short one today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming up and coming on and watching us tomorrow. Remember, we are doing the trees, the gemstone trees again with the bases. So they're going to be really easy. And if you're a beginner, you do really want to check it out, because and I'm going to grab it. Let me grab it. With the bases, and this one as well. Don't forget this one. So with the bases, you can't go wrong, because the tree itself is already formed. All you need to do is just to make the little twiglets on the end. So let me just turn it down and show it to you. So all you're going to be making, just sort of the canopy. All this is already there in the ceramic base, and it's nice and solid. So even if you're a beginner and this is the first time you're doing something, you're going to have a really good results. And I'm going to need to come back to the other camera to show you this one with all the 3 different chips on there. So I got light amethyst at the top, I got amethyst in the middle, and I got fluorite at the bottom. And again, because the tree is already formed, all you need to do is your little twiglets at the end. They are a really great way to start your trees or do anything, because it doesn't matter, like, you know, how you do it, it's going to look great. Doesn't matter if it's left or right, it's going to look great. Right, everybody, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and have a lovely day.